Before we begin today's episode, a content warning. This episode may contain discussions that listeners find distressing or emotionally challenging. Please listen in a way that feels right for you and seek support if needed. Welcome to today's episode of I'm Fine, but I am joined by Lucy. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Hello.
So, Lucy, please can you tell our listeners who you are and what you do?
I am Lucy and I am a mum of two. I am a wife. I am an operations manager. I'm also co-owner of Mam.ahm.ere Pizzeria, which is a local to East Yorkshire pizzeria selling homemade pizzas.
Amazing. So take me back to the beginning, Lucy. What did you do before you had children?
Wow, that was a long time ago. Well, my eldest is 11 now. So what did I do? I used to work in a pub. I used to hang out with friends. I did a degree in psychology, did a bit of running. Nothing really too interesting, I guess.
I always think that people think they're not interesting. And then when you get into it and you delve into it, there is something interesting within there. So you had children, you were sort of floating along in life, let's say,
Yeah.
and then you've got two children. What happened then?
Okay, so first of all, I had Fleur, who's now 11. Life was pretty hectic, completely differently hectic to what I would class as hectic now. My husband works offshore, so with a newborn, it was really hard when he went offshore for 3 weeks at a time and I was at home with a newborn baby for 3 weeks. I didn't have family that was close, so I found that quite difficult. But then after a year, we decided to move. We moved back out into the villages of where we are now. After Florence, we decided that we would have another child about 2 years after having Fleur. And then I had a miscarriage, which was a massive thing for me. It hit me pretty hard and I fell into a pit of depression.
Let's just go back a step. So you were at home with a newborn. You had your beautiful baby daughter and Josh was away working 3 weeks at a time. How did you find that as a mum, being on your own for such a long period of time?
It was tough. The worst time of the day was after tea time and that lead up to like bedtime. And I know many people say this, but it just felt never ending. Like you're trying to keep them awake before they go to bed. You don't want them to have a nap. They're getting grouchy. You're getting so tired. You're just looking forward to bedtime. You're trying to draw out playtime. You're trying to draw out bath time just to get to a point of say, right, 7, go to sleep. Sometimes they would go to sleep. Sometimes they wouldn't. But that time, it was quite lonely, I suppose. Maybe in the daytime, you've kind of gone out, you've done a few clubs with what I did with like Fleur. But then them on tea till bed was just so long and quite lonely, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think usually that's sort of the time, like historically, when your husband used to walk through the door.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to wait for that and I'd be like, come on, like he's going to be home soon. I remember once my husband got totally dobbed in and his colleague said sometimes that they wait in the bar because they wait for when, and if you're not watching, I'm doing inverted commas for the traffic to die down, but actually they were just waiting for bedtime to be done. And I remember just sitting down and being like, this point, I need you back because I am by this point.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, I've got a great husband in terms of helping with the children. And do you think your husband understood that? Did you feel that he saw how hard it was for you?
Yeah, he did. Because then when he did come home, he then took that time to be with Fleur and Charlie later on. Yes, he appreciated how hard that couple of hours was. What used to really get to me was when he would ring. So when he was offshore, he has set times of being able to call. And if he did a night shift, it was always that point that he would ring. So when you're trying to speak to your husband at that point, while you've got a screaming child on the other hand, but yet you're trying to say, come on, here's your dad, look at the screen. It just blows your mind. It's a proper stressy time, but yet you want to speak to your husband and tell them how hard a day you've had and how you want them home. And yeah, it was a stressful time at that point.
Sometimes it's just speaking to another adult, isn't it?
It's
just having somebody to actually have a conversation where it goes two ways rather than it's just you talking to a baby or a toddler.
Yeah.
So did you find that you've got a group of women within this time period? Because you were effectively, almost like a single parent for a period of time every single month. Did you find that you found a village of women that could support you through that?
I think the majority of my friends still lived back where me and Josh grew up. So, and I think we were quite young to be parents. So the majority of the people who I then met through having children was from Hull, some of which went back to work quite early. But I found there was a lady who we went swimming with and I become really good friends with her. And she was lovely. We always used to say, how's your week been? How tough has it been? And her husband worked shifts as well. I think the people who are in the same boat as you at that same given time are the best support network you can have, because it's all right speaking to mums who have been mums for a long time or people who haven't been mums. They're brilliant, but someone who is living the same life day in, day out at that time is the best support network you can speak to.
Yeah. And even women who have been through similar situations as you, but are, a few years out of it, you forget really quickly, don't you? You remember the good parts, you remember some of the hard parts as well, but when you're actually in them, living them, it feels so intense. And to have somebody validate your feelings, it's just worth so much. So you had one baby.
Yep.
Josh was working away.
Yep.
Just talk me through what happened next.
So we moved after Fleur was a year old. We moved back into the villages and we thought it would be a really good time to then try for another child. We always said we would have two. And within about a couple of months, I fell pregnant of trying. I was so excited. Josh was away at the time when I found out. I think it was like the day after he went, I found out that I was pregnant. Overjoyed. We were both happy. And then 2 weeks later, so before he was due to come home, I'd miscarried. At the time, obviously, I didn't know I'd miscarried. I was bleeding. I was at work at the time as well. I properly went into panic mode. I rang my mum. My mum took me into hospital to have a scan, and it was there that they told me that I'd miscarried. So spoke to Josh, explained what the doctors had told me, explained what had happened over the next couple of weeks. And that was a really tough time. And Josh will openly admit that and say what I'm about to say, is the fact that he never really saw it as a pregnancy because he wasn't here at that given time. So he wasn't home. Obviously, it's your body, you know what happened, you get the sensations, the feelings, but because he wasn't at home while all that was going on, when we found out that we was pregnant, and then when he'd come home, that miscarriage had happened, it was like he wasn't, and I'm not saying this negatively, and he will say it as it is. He's very blunt, is Josh. It was like it didn't happen. It did happen to him, but it didn't hit him as hard as it hit me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It's one thing to know that you are within a relationship and, that this is happening, but to actually have the feelings and to feel the changes in your body, even in those really, really early stages, something's going on, don't you? And I think being open and honest about it is the best way to be in things like this, because there's nothing that anybody can do about it. And I think as a society, we hide away from miscarriage. The more people that talk about it and that realize actually the statistics of women that have miscarriages is huge now.
Massive, absolutely phenomenal. And I kept it to myself for months and it ate me alive, but that didn't help me. What did help me was talking about it. And the more I spoke about it, the better I felt about it, in a strange way of putting it, I suppose. So I'd put a post out on social media and it literally blew up. Everyone was commenting on it saying, I'm so sorry. But on the flip side, how many people said, I've been through this. This has happened to me. And it's like having them open conversations of saying, oh my gosh, I aren't alone. That there are other people out there who are going through exactly the same thing. Let's talk about it. It's not a taboo subject. And then what really pushed me further was running the London Marathon for the Miscarriage Association. It was powerful. And then finding out that I was pregnant a couple of weeks before running it was like something so, again, powerful. something so amazing. And I had on my t-shirt while I was running, like you said, the Miscarriage Association, but then it was like baby on board on the back as well. It's a total flip reversal. Yeah.
And do you think there was a reason why you didn't open up about it to start with?
I think I was scared. I think I thought I felt alone. I felt like no one else was going through it, anything like what I was going through. And I felt scared in what would other people say. I didn't want people to say anything that would upset me. But I knew as time was going on, the more I didn't speak about it, the worse I was feeling.
Yeah. I know when we've done events, and particularly when we've discussed things like miscarriage, there's so many different feelings around it. To some extent, we almost put in our heads, I think, don't we, what other people are going to think without ever knowing, are we going to get judged by this? Or because I've lost them so early, it don't count, or they're going to think I'm being dramatic, or there's all these different things that have come up in conversations when we've spoke to women that, it's just things that our brains put in there as doubt, when actually we don't know anything that anybody else is going to think until we say it out loud. And actually we can't control what they're going to think anyway. So you found it quite powerful to be part of, this, the London Marathon. What an achievement to do. I honestly do not think I would get like a mile. I am the worst runner ever. So good on you for getting that down.
Running is my go-to. It keeps me grounded. So I would love to do another marathon. I keep doing halves, but one day.
Okay. You stick with running. I'll keep with coffee that keeps me grounded. It's a lot less work. So you've now got 2 children and you settled in your new house. What was the thinking then about starting a business?
Okay. So this is going to be a bit of a story. Okay. So for the past 3-4 years, me and Josh have just dabbled in making pizza at home. We've always made our own dough, our own tomato sauce that goes on the top, and then we'll get really good quality like toppings. And we've always done it. And then we started inviting friends, inviting family. Every time there was like a big family event, we'd always do pizzas. And everyone was like, you should really sell these. They're really good. And then last summer, at the beginning of summer, I had some family over. I think there was about 50 of us in total, and we did pizzas. And they were all like, you can knock out these 50 pizzas from we've got a beautiful handmade pizza oven outside in our little courtyard. You can totally sell these. You should give it a go. And because I work in school, the 7 week or 6 weeks I was off, me and Josh was like, go on, let's give it a go. Let's open up our courtyard. Let's see what the local community think of our pizzas. So we did. And it was about a year ago. So we opened up, we've got a beautiful courtyard out at home. It's got like a pergola. It's got the pizza oven. It's got like plants running up alongside. It's like you're in Italy. When the weather is beautiful, it's lovely. So the first weekend, we had about 30 people come through the door. So it's quite quirky. So if you imagine the front of a cottage, and you literally walk through our house to get to the courtyard. People are like knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and we're like, no, just come through. Treat it like a bit of a restaurant, a bit of a shop. Just walk through our house. So they walk through the kitchen, the dining room, and they're outside into the courtyard. So the first night we did about 30. The next night we did about 40. And then the following weekend, it was up to about 80. And then a couple of weekends after that, we'd hit 100 pizzas a night. And we was like, wow, this is insane. So like I say, we hand make all the dough. We buy really good quality premium ingredients for all the toppings. So little old me was kneading all of this dough by hand, and it was a lot because Josh was like, oh, you can do it. You're fine. You go to the gym. You need it. I'm not doing any of that. So it got to about October time and we realized this is a viable business. This is something that could actually work. It's sustainable. People love the product. It brings the community together. And we think we should invest to move this forward. So we did.
Yeah.
So the next step in this business was we wanted to take it on the road. So Josh flew out to China and decided to spec up a pizza trailer. But not just any pizza trailer. It was an American Airstream, which is rose gold. So it wasn't just any old trailer. It was a rose gold Airstream pizza trailer. So it went out October, November time last year, and it arrived May of this year. So for the past few weeks, we have been going around the villages in this area in East Yorkshire selling pizzas. And you know what? It is the best experience we could have ever wished for. Like, it's catching people's eyes, it's bringing people together. People are commenting on the trailer, they're commenting on the food. We're getting really good reviews. It just is phenomenal. Like, we couldn't have thought this would be where we are now this time last year. It's just insane, but we love it.
So just take me back then to the point where you were selling them out of your house. Because for me, I'm quite a private person, and we do have a house that's a bit like a party house. So whenever we're out at like our local village, like community centre or working men's club, try and make it sound better than by saying community centre. It's definitely a working men's club. Often I will wake up at 4 a.m. and be like, oh my God, I've got a living room full of men. And the whole football team's come back. To some extent, I'm okay with that. But when I know that there's going to be people that I don't necessarily know coming in, like, don't want people in my house, in my space. How did you find that?
At first, it was quite strange, but then as time went on, we were quite open to it. We live in quite a quirky house, so we've built it ourselves. It's literally quite fluid from the front door through to the outside courtyard, so that it isn't like they're going through like different spaces. It's just one through room. But it was just nice. It was really nice to have people coming in and just commenting on the space, commenting on what we were doing outside. And the more people who kept coming back, the more they became our, how shall I put it, pizza friends. So they kind of knew what they were to expect. Some people stayed with us and then what we would class as regulars. It was really nice. And I love the community spirit. In our village, everyone knows everyone and everyone supports everyone.
And was the whole community quite happy with you doing this? Because I know when we lived in our other house, we'd put like a little gym in the back garden, and there was neighbours that weren't happy with this. And, you know, we got a little bit of backlash of, we're going to report this to the council and all this, especially when we renovated our own house. Oh my word, there was so many different like reports going in and how many different people you can piss off in one day. Did you get any of that?
So let's say the majority, and I mean the majority, all were really behind us, all were really positive, all wanted to support us. But we believe there was one person who wasn't. So they decided to speak to the council about us. But we overcome that by taking Mam.ahm.ere on the road, and it created a story for us, I suppose. So when the council did speak to us, we were really open about it on our social media pages. And to be fair, it created more people wanting to follow our story. So thank you, whoever that was. It created more business, more community spirit.
And what about your two children then? Do they come with you to sell these pizzas?
They love it. They are, it's totally a family affair. Like Fleur, she's 11 now, so she works the till for us. So when we're out in the trailer, it's her taking the orders. One of the things I am teaching her at the present minute is how to be not polite, because she is polite, but how you approach different people. So instead of saying, do you want to order? It was like, would you like to order? Can I help you? It's like, what do you want?
I think she can get away with that. She's 11. There's a bit of child charm there.
It's like, what do you want? But no, she's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous. And when we do go out, they want to come with us. Charlie will quite happily fold up all the boxes. He'll quite happily pack everything away with us. He wants to be part of it. And with Fleur, she's really proud that we do have Mam.ahm.ere, because when we are out and about in the local villages, she'll message her friends saying, we're here, get your mum to come for pizza. So it's lovely. Like, we're doing a big event in a couple of weeks and she wants to be part of it. And I think what me and Josh have said, it shows our children, if you put effort in, if you put time into something, you get something out of it.
Yeah. And I think there's that element as well of risk and reward, and teaching children that, you know, flying out to China to go look at a van is not something that every person would do. Some people would find it that it's too risky. There's too much, involved in actually having the vehicle brought over and all the different red tape that you've probably had to go through to make it viable. And that it is worth doing once you put, you've got the passion for it and you really believe in the product. And how have you found that as a woman and as a mum, juggling all these different roles that you're doing? Because not only are you running the business, but you're still working, you've got 2 children, you're doing lots of voluntary roles as well. How have you found managing all that?
I'm spinning a lot of plates. I think my head is always running at 100 miles an hour, but I'm better running at 100 miles an hour than not running at all. I think the more things I have going on, the better I am at managing it. I'm not one for just doing nothing. Like at the minute, I work within a school. So this period now is my break. It's supposed to be my 6 weeks holiday. I could not imagine me just sat about doing nothing. That is not me. And I don't want to have that reflected on my children either. Like, yes, they deserve a break. I totally appreciate that. They've had school just as much as what I have had, but I want them to be who we are. I want them to see if you work hard, if you volunteer, if you're part of the community, it makes you a better person. Yeah, I think the more I do, the better I feel in some respects, Rose.
Have you got any coping strategies that you do use if you feel like you're getting to that point of overwhelm?
Yeah. So about 6 months ago, I spoke to someone and they gave me quite a few strategies to use. So one of the things is listening to music. I literally put my headphones on, I put it on noise cancelling mode, and I just listen, just sit, just pause. And I don't know if you've ever heard of like grounding, sensory grounding. So you have something in your hand, you literally hold it, you feel it, you're taking in all your senses. That to me is my go-to. My other go-to is running. I love to run. I'll just literally go out, clear my head, get some fresh air, and them two together are what helps me keep grounded and helps me be a better human being, a better mum, a better wife. Just give me that time to go do something for me and I'm refreshed.
So can you tell our listeners, Lucy, if they want to come and follow you and come and find the Rose Gold van, where can they find you online?
Okay, so we're on Facebook under Mam.ahm.ere Pizzeria, which is, if you're saying Mamma Mia, in Italian, obviously, but in a Yorkshire accent, it's Mam.ahm.ere. And then again on Instagram, it's Mam.ahm.ere. It's a black logo with red writing. It's beautiful.
Perfect. What we will do is pop all the links in the show notes. So if you want to go across and find Lucy, see what they're up to, go find where the pizza van is, just scroll down and you'll be able to find all the links there. Because we've touched on miscarriage, we're also going to pop the links to the Miscarriage Association as well. So if anything in this episode has affected you, please just scroll down and reach out. Of course, you can always reach out to Baby Beats UK as well if you're needing some further support. Thank you, Lucy, so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Rose.
You've just listened to I'm Fine But. If you're unsure about business or what really matters to you right now, why not take our free Core Values course? It's linked in the show notes and it's a brilliant place to begin. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and you can follow us online at all your favourite social media platforms at Baby Beats UK. Until next time, I'm Rose and I'm fine. But honestly, we're all just figuring it out.